You are beautiful. You are strong. You are love. You deserve to have the life you desire. It doesn't matter what others say about you, it's about what you say about you. You are worthy.
Hey y'all, welcome back to You Are What You Think. So I'm hosting late because I pretty much was contemplating between two different topics I wanted to share with you all as far as it pertains to when I post it. So while I did record the content, I didn't share it with you all because I was like, no, I think this topic is better from, me just getting back started with posting and everything. So I don't know if you knew my original name. You might have just looking at my first, I guess, welcome video to YouTube or whatever. But my old name was Anissa, and I went through a legal name change the end of July of 2024 and changed it to Avani. Last name's still the same, but I changed it because, and this video is about why I changed my name, because I feel like in life, everyone goes through highs and lows, right? And so part of the reason why I changed my name is because I realized that there were certain aspects of me that have changed drastically from who I was as far as what I used to engage in or how I used to conduct myself in group settings or just around people in general. And that part of me has changed, not just on a physical level, but on a spiritual level, on a mental level. So I was in the past, you can even if any of you know my mom, she would probably tell you, I never intended on changing my name. I loved the name that my mom gave me at birth and things like that. But it's so interesting how you really can tell when God is the one driving the changes in your life, because I wasn't searching for a name. I wasn't thinking oh, I'm gonna change my name, I just don't know what I'm gonna change it to. Never was a desire, a want, a need of mine, nothing, right? And so I'm just minding my business at work one day, and I literally saw a name, and it was just, and I had seen it so many different times. It wasn't like I saw it and instantly there was a connection. No, I couldn't forget the name. The name was so beautiful, and I was just like, oh my God, someone had to have made this a business name or something, right? And so I was just like, okay, no worries. I'm like, I'm gonna find a way to where I can use this. I can't use it for my business because I feel like somebody might have already used it, even though the name is bomb, right? But I said, oh, but a personal name. And then let me back up a little bit. I've been working on something, and the funny thing is, I had been struggling for an entire year. I'm not lying. I had been struggling for an entire year with what I should name my LLC for a business concept I've been working on. When I tell you, I have never came to such a halt in coming up with business names. When I first started my first business at 9 years old, I came up with a business name. Every time we changed that business name, I was the one who came up with a new name. So for me, and my mom knew I was struggling with this, for me to have been stuck for an entire year on what I wanted to name this business, right? And so many other things that I've been working on too. I'm just like, oh my God, this name fits. I said, oh my God, Avani, it's perfect. I was like, it was just the craziest aha moment. And I was like so giddy about it, because I was like, I never thought that I would ever do it. And I had to have seen the name maybe for about 2 months on and off. Before I was like, wow, I really should do this, And then this is it's so funny. I started the process at the end of July with the name change, but I didn't 100% know what the name meant, which is weird, right? Because I'm really about meanings. I was like, I know what my mom, the name my mom gave me, I know what that name meant, right? I was like, I didn't know what this name meant until like a month before the hearing. I said, oh, let me go and look up the name. It's the funniest thing, guys. I was just like, oh my gosh. And it just fits so perfectly. I'm like, when things happen like that, I'm just like, you just know. Like, who else could be responsible? Especially for someone who was just so like, I'm definitely not changing my name. I was just so sure that that's something I would never do. But then I didn't understand why I was having such a difficult time and coming up with the business name, and I was just like struggling. I'm just like, that's because the right name hasn't come around. Like, it just didn't connect yet. And so I was just like, wow. So, full disclaimer, I am going to tell you the meaning behind my name. But before we get there, I'm going to let you know that the process can take anywhere from, I'm going to say 4 to 6 months. Because once you do all the paperwork and filing for getting your name changed and things like that, you have to wait to have the hearing. You have to pretty much dot all the I's and cross all the T's. And then once the judge grants your name change, then you have to go through this other loop of things just to make it like a known thing in society. Like, you have to change your social security number, update your passport, driver's license and birth certificate, just so many things, right? So the process is pretty extensive, and it's so funny. I didn't even think it took as long as it did. I didn't even remember that I started the process in July, like, at all. I didn't know I started in July. I thought I started the process in August, but I started the process in July. Totally forgot about it. But when you go through your emails, it tells you like, oh, and I'm like, name change. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I did start this in July. Didn't even remember that. But yeah, the process is it's a long process. So if you are someone who wants to change their name just because, for any reason, it could be just because you want to change it, or you've experienced this spiritual growth or change, definitely research what the name means. I wouldn't advise people just, unless you don't care about the meaning, but I'm big on meanings. I thought it was funny how I didn't even think to care about looking up what the name meant before going forward with the name change. I was just like, this is so unlike me. I usually care so much about meanings. Even when it comes to tattoos, I'm just like, oh my God, what does that tattoo mean? Why did you get that tattoo? What's the story? Because I think everything, and this is so funny, people who know me are probably like, this girl always trying to make everything so deep. Like, some people, like, sometimes people just get stuff just to get stuff. But for me, I'm like, it has to mean so much more. Like, what was the reason? What's the story? What motivated you? I'm just so curious about just the journey to get into that point of making such a serious decision. And for me, it wasn't the name. I mean, it wasn't the meaning behind the name. It was the name and me thinking of it like, oh, I can use that. And it's funny because I didn't even realize the name spoke to me, I guess, based off of where I was spiritually. But outside of that, I didn't even come up with, oh my God, I could use this name for my businesses until maybe, oh my word, it was probably after the hearing. But something about the name just felt right. And I'm big on feelings. I'm a water sign, I'm a Cancer. So I'm very in tune with my emotions, and I'm big on feelings. Like, if I have a strong feeling to do something, I'm gonna definitely do it, even if it takes a little bit of time, because I am slightly hard-headed when it comes to internal wisdom or God's guidance. I would say it, because I like to be so sure. I like to be so sure in the way to where, like, some people will be like, oh, I got this idea, let me do this. I'm kind of like, if it's meant to be, it'll come back. Or I'm like, if it's meant to be, I won't be able to stop thinking about it. So it does take me a little bit longer to do things because I like to be sure. Like, I like to be overly sure that it's something I'm supposed to do. So, and that's kind of like, that might be a fault of mine when it comes to like business ideas or things that I do in that sense, because it has to feel right and I have to know that that's something God wants me to do. All right, y'all. So Avani is Sanskrit. It means earth, and it's a girl's name in Sanskrit. I think I've read that it's unisex, but if you go on Google, it'll tell you that it is a girl's name. It means earth. It connotes a fortitude of generosity, warmth, and authenticity. So I just felt like that name Avani, it really spoke to me. And it's so funny, like my dad and my little sister, they were like, how did you come up with the name? Where'd you get the name from? And I told them the truth. Like, sometimes it's hard for people to understand stuff, even when there are other things in place to make it like, oh, you got it from that. It's like, no, not really. I didn't. I really didn't. When I was at work, somebody's name was something I'm not going to share because in the future, I want to name my son that actual full name. So I want to keep it to myself because I know once you start sharing potential future babies' names, the other people are like, oh, I'm pregnant right now. I need a baby name. Like, no, let me not share it. I want to keep it in my back pocket for when that time comes for me. But anyway, yeah, and I was just like, oh my God, this name is so beautiful. It's so beautiful, you guys. And you gotta remember, this is around the time when I had just gotten my yoga certificate to teach yoga mainstream, like my 200 YTT certificate. So everything, it's like I was becoming more spiritually aligned with what my soul wanted to be doing. So that's the space I'm in, like, you know. And so my name, it pretty much speaks to everything that I am currently doing to create the future that I want for myself. I know that it can be difficult sometimes to make decisions, but I really want you guys not to do what I do. Don't wait as long to go forward with ideas you may have. And I know as women, we second guess ourselves so much. And I think that's part of the reason why I experienced that flaw is because I want to be so sure, but to be so sure, it takes so long sometimes. Like, you guys, you have no idea. I'm working on a project that took me, let me see. It literally took me maybe, you know you're gonna be so disappointed. It took me about 9 to 10 months to go forward with an idea that I had so many months ago. And I'm just like, why does it take me so long to, you know? And I think there's a bit of beauty there too, because that means that I try to protect myself from making as many mistakes as possible. So I figure the longer I take to do something, or the longer I take to actually go forward with an idea, the more sure I am that I'll not only see it through, but I'll be able to do all the research and things necessary to bring it into fruition without as many like negatives or mistakes or lessons to be learned along the way. Like, I'd rather have little lessons and take a little longer and take my time with something than to rush it and have really expensive mistakes. But it shouldn't take 9 to 10 months before you go forward with something. So I would personally encourage all of you to pretty much, when you have an idea, write it down. And if you're someone who meditates or prays, I would say don't allow more than 3 months to go by before you actually act on it. And I'm going to be honest, when I noticed, let me see, There was one project I immediately moved on. It was the funniest thing too, because I was just like, this is so not like me. But the beauty behind it is I was able to successfully execute it and do all the things in, like, I'm not gonna lie, 30 days. Took me 30 days to create my I'm gonna share the products with you. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I should have brought them out. It's okay. Hold on. Okay, yeah, so it took me, I want to say 30 days to execute this one project that I think I'm really proud of myself for this, but at the same time, it came out of need more than a want. Like, I was desperate and pressed for cash, so I think my creative juices were flowing, and I was just like, this is like fight or flight mode. So on top of creating an ebook that I published, I also created this business. Hold on, I want you to see it really good. It's pretty much a hair growth serum, because backstory, let me just start with that first. Backstory, I created a hair growth serum, and it wasn't something that I wanted to mainstream at first, but I did it just based off a need. I had started balding on my sides here, and I don't know why it happened, but it did. And this is maybe 6 months. It happened in the springtime. I created this business in the fall. So it happened in the springtime. I created this Ayurvedic treatment for my own personal need, and I had started at the same time making my own body butter, because I realized that there was nothing in the market that suited me. So I was like, I'm just gonna go and make my own thing, you know? And that's what I did. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know why my chin is shiny. All right, anyway. I was like, yeah, I don't know why there's nothing in the market that I like, but I'm the type of person that if I don't see it out there, I'm going to create it, because I want what I want. At the end of the day, I want what I want, and you know, I don't apologize for it. I just make it happen. Like, and so I ended up creating body butter, and this might have been my second batch that I made, because it was lasting a little while. I had packaged it in something much larger than what I'm about to show you. But yeah, I was just like, oh my God, the struggle is real. I had gotten fired. I couldn't pay my bills. And my creative juices was like, girl, you got so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, God just be trying to tell me, like, you just got so much, you know, I don't want to call it potential, right? But it's true. I mean, I'm not financially wealthy or successful by anyone's standards, but I've always desired and knew that financial success or financial freedom was in the cards for me. Like, from before I hit double digits, when I was like 7, 8, I had told my parents, I'm like, I want to be rich. But when I get this certain age, I told them this. And I'm like, they didn't believe me, of course. But I put that energy in the universe. And the universe was like, okay, let me see how I can make that happen for you. Like, once you set your intention, I feel like it may take some time, because I'm telling you about where my mind was 20 years ago. But even though I'm not there now, I'm still extremely optimistic about the next few years, you know? But anyway, this is the body butter that I also created along with the labels. Yeah, when the struggle was real. So I created these 2 items, and I was like, you know, I don't have no money to pay for a website. All these things are going through my head. And then I'm like, you make the website, but then do you have enough money to keep up with the demand for product? All these things. And I'm just like, you know what? I have an Instagram and I have a PayPal account. And I was like, if people were to message me through Instagram or contact me through my email account, I could easily get back to them, and we can do transactions through PayPal, and I'm right by a post office. I'm like, don't think about the negative, think about the positive, right? I don't have the money now for a website, or I don't have the money now to keep up with like containers and labels and all those things, but it's okay because guess what? You do what you can now, and then in the future, it will present itself where you can do pre-order. People pre-order all the time. I'm like, so all these possibilities started coming into my head. I'm like, oh my God, okay. I'm just like, let me just trust the feeling. Let me just trust this moment, no matter how uncertain it may feel right now. And I was just like, from there, y'all, it was up. I'm just like, I was just so grateful that I have been blessed with the idea beforehand, which is funny because I just enhanced both of these products, but I had already created them 6 months prior to, based off of my own personal need. Like I said, I did it for me first, and then I was like, oh, but I can make this better, and then I could also market this to mainstream so that it could work for me and be another stream of income to what I'm already doing as it pertains to my yoga business. So yeah, you know, if you want to support me, leave a comment down below. Say, what's that email, sis? Or something like that. And I'll be so happy to share it with you all. And we can go from there if you are interested in a product. But yeah, like, you just gotta, I say trust your gut. If you have an idea, write it down, because you just never know when it may be the idea God initially planned for you. Like, you really got to give it some time. And I say, even once you write it down, forget about it. Walk away from it, mind your business, do your everyday, because I find that when things continuously come back to you strong, like a strong feeling of, oh my God, I need to do this, that's when it's meant for you. And everything that I have ever put out, when I tell you, I be plotting on my ideas. I don't know. I call it plotting on my ideas because in order for me to actually do any of the things I've done, I have waited anywhere from a year to 3 years to execute on some of this stuff. It's so terrible. But because it comes back the same way I felt it the first time, I'm just like, oh yeah, that was for me. You know, I'm like, oh yeah, God definitely wanted me to write. Okay. So that's write it down. Give yourself 90 days to look back at it and just like stay positive, y'all. Positive, positive, positive. Be positive more than you are negative. I know the negative comes in. I know that life happens. You heard I lost my job. I still haven't fully recovered from being unemployed for 3 months. So, oh, actually, no, I was unemployed for 2 months. Anyway, I haven't fully recovered, you know. I appreciate all the assistance I get, but the reality is that life happens to everyone, and you just have to have the mindset to get through it. You know, I refuse. Y'all, I did so much research on stress, or I just heard so many podcasts on stress. You worrying about something that's completely out of your control, I'm telling you, it is not worth the effects from just staying in a peaceful state no matter what the heck is going on. I'm telling you, because I don't know, I just feel like when you are purpose driven, or when you have a bigger responsibility such as children, or you know, you affect the lives of so many other people in a positive way, you have so many reasons, you know, to be here and to be healthy and to be present, that you just got to remember the little bit of stress or the little bit of negative that you may be experiencing right now is not worth any long-term negative effects that may come up, whether it be in your health or just in any way, shape, or form. Like, I don't want to say let it go because it's not that easy, but definitely pray to God about it, meditate, and just like let God handle the things you can't control. Let God handle your worries. Let God take over the situations that seem uncertain. That's my advice. Let God take over the situations that seem uncertain. You know, don't keep your head down, keep your head up, and just push forward, guys. Push forward. So yeah, that's my story. That's story time on why I changed my name. I'm proud of my decision. I'm proud of what came from trusting my gut when it comes to that. Yeah, so, definitely stay positive. If you've ever read any of David Hawkins' books, you know that positive outweighs negative by, whew, I can't even tell you by so much, by so much. So when you think something negative, automatically say, thank you, God, for this. Like, let the gratitude compensate for the negative or the complaining. That way, you're not welcoming so much negativity into your life. It's more of like a balanced type of reaction. Because I do this too. I'm not perfect by any means necessary. I very much so still get like negative chatter or still have to work on forgiveness, but that's another video. We're not gonna talk about that right now. So yeah, I just say make sure that you are intentional about the positive. The negative, it happens, is life. We are human, you know. Let that be that, but don't focus on it. Observe it, but don't become it. You know what I mean? Negative things happen to us. Negative things have happened to us, and negative things may happen to us, but don't let that become who you are. Stand above it, keep your head up, pray daily, show gratitude, not only to yourself and to God, but others. And remember, guys, positive over everything. Positivity over everything. Okay? Crystal Renee says it the best, literally. Crystal Renee Hazlitt says it the best. She says, keep it positive, sweetie. And that is the note I want to leave you guys on. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I will be posting every 7 to 10 days, for real, this time. So please, guys, stay tuned. Leave a comment down below if you are interested in either of these products, because I could give you more information on them along with the different benefits and so much more. Because, if I started using it personally and I enhanced it better for market, you got to know, it got to be thebomb.com. Like, and if you want, you can go on my Instagram. It's Avani. I think it's Avani Balance Me Yoga. It's actually just my name, Avani Elamine Sims. That's my Instagram name. So yeah, go on there, check it out, because I did make a video, like a reel that talked about the benefits, and you can kind of just, see how it looks and stuff like that on there. But if you don't even want to do that, don't worry. You leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you. Many blessings to all of you. I pray that no matter what time you're looking at this video, that the rest of whatever evening, morning, day, night, afternoon you are having, that it is well and even better than you could possibly imagine it to be. I want you all to not only share and spread love, but to welcome the love that people have to offer you. So guys, until next time, be well, and I will see you later.